So recently I've been getting back into photography, and with that I've been pretty much just spending my entire nights binge watching photography YouTubers. I came across two channels, Theo Crawford and Grainy Days, and I pretty much just became obsessed with them and the entire process of film photography. What stood out to me especially was that it came off as very natural and raw, and this is something I've been looking for and craving for in a digital world. It feels like nowadays anyone can pretty much pick up a camera, put it on auto and take a half decent picture. With film is an involved process. You need to light meter, set your focus, plan out each shot meticulously since you're limited to how many exposures are in your roll, film speed and the time of day. And this entire process is what attracted me to film photography. And what got me into photography, well, particularly street photography in the first place, was the ability to tell a story of a moment frozen in time. With digital photography, it feels like you're an outsider looking into a moment, taking a freeze frame. However, with film photography, it feels like I'm there in the moment, taking everything in and being a part of the story that's being told. With a digital camera, I can just take the picture and then see it on the screen. This, I'm going to have to take the picture, send it off to the lab, wait for it to get developed, and then it might just be either completely underexposed or completely overexposed and not usable, or out of focus. I think that's kind of part of the beauty of it, because it's like you feel more involved in the process. Like you're in that moment with the picture instead of like, I feel like with a digital camera, you're an outsider looking in. With film, it feels like you're inside that moment with the subject you're taking a picture of, which is what really draws me to film photography. I think that's something that's really beautiful about it. So what I'm thinking of doing is getting a shot of these stairs here. If someone's just walking and they stand like perfectly in the middle of the frame, I think that'll be a cool shot. So we'll wait around to see if we can get that one. I think that'll look good. I think I got the shot. I'm not sure if I did. It looked good on the viewfinder, but we'll find out when it gets scanned eventually in like a week or two. So hopefully it did turn out good. For the first roll of the day, I decided to go with black and white film. My idea for this was to capture people in negative spaces. So for this, I thought black and white would have been the best option. I decided to go with Ilford HP5 Plus because from the sample images I saw online, it looked the best to me. And for my first roll of black and white film, I was really happy with the results I got back from the lab. I got some pictures that I was really happy about, and some pictures that the composition looked great, but the exposure wasn't correct. I kind of underexposed a lot of the shots I got back, but some of them were recoverable. Like these pictures of the stairs here, my idea was to try and capture someone walking directly in the middle. I did underexpose most of these shots here, so they're quite dark. However, I did get one back, which I really liked. The subject isn't directly in the middle, but I really love the contrast between the shadows and the lights behind the stairs. I think it looks really nice. So for these next few shots, the composition I had in mind was having the subject walking either somewhere on the stairs, in between the footpath, or just waiting outside the gate. And I think the shots turned out quite good. Although they are a bit underexposed, well, heavily underexposed, I think they look quite good, especially with that washed out vintage vibe to them. So I was really happy with how these shots turned out. I think next time I'll just be more careful with my exposure settings and making sure I'm light metering correctly. For the nighttime photography, I used Candido 800 speed film. I read that it was a respooled Kodak Vision 3 500T, so I really wanted to try and experiment with that motion picture film at nighttime. I ran into a few troubles with nighttime photography. Firstly, not having a tripod with me, so I was very limited in what kind of shots I could take. I had to focus on shooting in areas which had a lot of light, and I had to shoot at a aperture of f1.8, which minimized how much I could focus. And I also had to shoot with a slow shutter speed. With that being said, I chose Chinatown as my primary location for my nighttime photography. What I really love about Chinatown is how active it is. Through the pictures you can really feel how alive the scene and the area of Chinatown is, and it's just one of my favorite places to take pictures. I do photography there with my Sony camera as well, and with every picture that I take there I always find a new story. I would never go on board with Chinatown.